BBC Radio York.
We'll let him sort it out and we'll just go and visit, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Morning, it's Kay with you. It's 7:33. Oh, it's been quite a week for chatting to inspirational women, hasn't it? Now, do you remember we kicked off this week on Monday? We met the Yorkshire Rose. Oh, brilliant. The 4 North Yorkshire mums who rode their way into the record books. They rode across the Atlantic. Such an inspiring bunch of girls. And then Jericho Keys was playing football. Do you remember with the girls from Harrogate who were through to the National Cup final, the under-14s? Again, inspiring young women. And this morning, I'm so delighted to say that we're catching up with Melissa Talago, who's just got back home to York after trying to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. I say try. Good morning, Melissa.
Hello.
So, you've lived the tale. Did you succeed?
I did. I did.
And the smile on her face. Right, so before you went, you came in, you came in and had a chat with us, and you were telling us about what you thought it'd be like, what you were expecting. I mean, if I had 3.5 hours, which I think is the minimum that we need to get through, then I would. But tell us, in a nutshell, how was it?
It was amazing. I genuinely really did enjoy it. There were bits of the camping that I could quite happily not live through again.
Like what?
You had to ask that question.
Of course. Hey, I've read your blog. I know what you're talking about.
About the need to go to the toilet about 20 times during the night and how you cope with that when you don't want to get out of a warm sleeping bag. So, there's some details we probably don't want to be sharing. But yes, that was quite a challenge. And then the summit night itself was genuinely the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. It was so difficult, but worth it.
So for those that haven't had the experience of climbing a mountain, I climbed one, not as tall as yours, but the summit night, just talk us up to that point.
Okay, so every day was an uphill walking day, and every day the terrain varied. So it starts in a rainforest, and then it gets sort of alpine-y, and then it gets sort of rocky with moorland, sort of little shrubs, and then it gets really barren, alpine desert. And each day is just another day of walking, and it's all good, but every day you get less and less oxygen. So people started to feel the effects of altitude. They were nauseous, they were vomiting, they had headaches. I got off really lightly and felt a little bit breathless and had a slight headache at times, but mostly I was fine. And it was all manageable. A couple of long days, about 12 hours of walking, but it was fine.
How are you getting through each day, though? What's keeping you going?
Just a positive mental attitude. Really, it was a case of trying to appreciate where I was, not complaining.
So easy to complain.
So easy, and it's very easy to start dwelling on what might happen. So you might think, I feel a bit sick. What if I feel worse? What if I can't make it? And every time I felt slightly unwell, I would just tell myself, this is my body's natural reaction to what happens when you have less oxygen, and it's perfectly normal. You are fine. So I would do that, and it did keep me going, listening to music, talking absolute nonsense with the other people. It was all bits to help me get to the summit day.
You mentioned listening to music. Just let me play one thing for you. Just tell us what we're listening to.
Nimrod. Oh God, Nimrod. I was listening to that. I had an iPod and had a completely random playlist, and that came up as I was sort of trudging along to the lava tower, which is very high, and you could see the mountain where we were headed, and sort of the clouds were swirling in around me, and it was just so incredible and moving, and I just burst into floods of tears. I know, I did. It was amazing. It was amazing.
That feeling when you got to the top. Now, I've read your blog, and you say, for me, when I got to the top of Kinabalu, I sobbed.
Yeah.
Buckets. Then I stopped and thought, oh, I've got to get back down here, guys. How am I going to do that? What were you feeling? How many days was it all in all? 7?
It was 7 days in total, yeah. So the summit night is ridiculously hard, but, you walk for about 7 hours, and it's magic, because you just see this little row of head torches going up, 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 and they look like stars, and it starts to blend in with the stars because it goes so high. And all of that was magic. Watching the sunrise was magic. And then you have this final push, and it is excruciating. It's just so difficult, and I really started to battle to breathe. My chest felt tight, but it was just, I'm going to do this, and that's all there is to it. So when I finally got to the top, I really didn't celebrate. It was like, I need to get my picture, and I need to get down so that I can start to breathe. There was no woohoo! And then you've still got to get down another 3 hours at least on very difficult shale that you sort of slide around on.
I found the hardest part getting down.
Yeah.
On your knees, especially.
Everything. And we ran out of water. It's got really hot because you have all those layers on for the freezing cold, and then when you start to come down, the sun's up and it's really hot because you're so high up. And then when you get down to your camp, you literally can rest for a couple of hours, and then you've got to keep walking to get down. So it was only really when I got to the bottom, like really to the bottom, and there was the big congratulations, you're down sign. That's when I had my moment of, I actually did this. We went all the way up and went all the way down, because getting to the top is only halfway and you've got to keep going.
Would you do it again?
Do you know, when I came back, I said absolutely categorically not. I said that was it, because it plays havoc on your body afterwards. It's not just when you're up there. When you come back, you have several days of being really unwell. So I said definitely not. But the longer I've been away from it, the more I've been...
That's like me. But the whole week after, I cried every day. I was with my flatmate in Asda, and she turned around and she's like, what's wrong? And I was just in floods of tears in the fruit and veg aisle. She's like, mate, what are you looking for? And I was like, it's not that. I can't believe what I've done. And then about a week later, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do Kili now. It's like you need a
do you know, it's
grieving process.
It's post-mountain blues, because I've really battled. I thought I'd come back and start working, because I'd done so little work before I left, because I was so focused on this. And I thought, I'm going to nail it now. And I came back and I cannot, get the motivation to really focus, because I think you just have to adjust and then sort of take a breather, and then take the lessons that I've learned from sort of one foot in front of the other, stay focused, stay positive, and then apply that to the rest of life. But for now, I just needed a sort of decompression moment.
The rowers on Monday told me that it was like an Atlantic hangover.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling for you.
I know the lovely rowers as well. And I completely get that feeling. And I've had it before when I did the sailing across the Atlantic. You do have this sort of come down process, and I
love it how you just throw that in there. I've had that feeling when I sailed the Atlantic.
Well, it was just a while ago, but it's a sort of feeling that you live isolated and separate from everyone. It was so lovely to not be connected on Twitter, Facebook, email, phone, nothing. You're just you and the mountain and your bodily functions, for a week. And so when you come back, you've sort of got to readjust.
Please, if you can, go online and read Melissa's blog. What's the... Tell us the blog name.
It's glamoraks.com, as in like an anorak spelling, but with glam in the front. And yes, I wrote up all 7 days, and so that
goes in depth about the toilet situation. If you are intrigued, you can find it on there. How much did you raise in the end?
All of us together raised over 100,000 for the group that we were walking with. So yeah.
And what's next?
Well, the next thing I'm doing is I'm walking the West Highland Way in April, but it's not like a charity thing. It's just my husband and I going for a walk.
Right, fine.
For 7 days.
Just a little walk,
yeah.
As you do.
As you do. I'm running an outdoor campfire retreat from a work point of view, so that's more walking, and that's going to be in May in Otley. And then I have to decide what I'm going to do next. I've got to come up with something else.
I think all the great inspiring women of North Yorkshire should come together en masse and do something in 2018.
Oh, I think so. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. We'll muse on that one. Melissa, so nice to see you safe and well and back with us, and huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. Amazing. We're going to get the weather for you in a moment.